What has happened, for instance, today? A young man selling some items in town has been shot down by a police officer, selling face masks. Madam Speaker, the young man did not run, he was unarmed. It's just worrying. And one of the roles that the National Police Service has to do is to bring our country together. And the greatest threat now we have is when an institution or leadership loses touch with the people they lead. Where I come from, Madam Speaker, we rear cattle. The worst shepherd is the shepherd who cannot look back and see where his cattle is. Let us be careful that we do not lose touch with Kenyans. A good shepherd looks back to see whether he still has his flock. Let us not lose Kenyans in the race of leading Kenya. And specifically for us who are elected on Kenya Kwanza, we promised the police service that we will improve their conditions for work.
We must allow our people to enjoy those provisions in our human rights and fundamental freedoms to the full. But, Honorable Speaker, we need to begin reminding all Kenyans and even foreigners in the country, Honorable Speaker, that we can only enjoy those fundamental freedoms and human rights within the confines of the law, within the confines of the Constitution, and alive to the fact that ultimately we need a stable state. Honorable Speaker, I was very sad when I saw a video of a person now confirmed to be a foreigner wielding a panga at our police officers on the main street in Nakuru. And you know he's wielding the panga, charging at the police officers who are armed, and he's sharpening the panga on the tarmac as he goes. I want to say, Honorable Speaker, that such an individual is lucky because of the richness of our Bill of Rights. In the country he comes from, which I hear is Uganda, I don't think he would have reached with that panga even on the streets. And so we must avoid situations where we overprovoke our police officers, because these police officers, Honorable Speaker, are going to the level where they are saying we may sit back and let people do as they will. That would be the birth of chaos. That would be the birth of anarchy. Honorable Speaker, on the other day, just the other day when we were dealing with the matter of budget here, I saw a young Kenyan lady, an activist who has been doing very, very well. A lady from Western, I know. These are over 6 police officers all armed to control demonstration. And I don't know whether the House and members watched that video. The girl just charged at police officer and went pulling the neck, pulling it. You don't do that. Soon thereafter, you watched the law and order sector in the United States. And I don't know, Honorable Speaker, you watched what that law and order officer was saying. You abuse our police officers, you will go to jail, but you pass through hospital. You spit on our police officers, you will go to jail, but you will pass through hospital, because our dogs, our beautiful dogs, will bite you. You touch the body of our police officers. He said, your relatives will be called to pick the remains, your remains, wherever they are. I'm not saying we should go to that extreme, but I see a challenge where we must, Honorable Speaker, begin thinking of how we can enjoy these fundamental freedoms while aware they have limits, and while aware these police officers, if they avoided keeping law and order, there is a problem. That is not to say our police should behave. Indeed, those ones who misbehave must be held accountable in the manner we are doing this otherwise, and expeditiously. And Honorable Speaker, that will be the reason as to why we are sending this.
Yani, sometimes you just sit and wonder. For police to have the impunity to shoot protesters in broad daylight, that means there is somebody protecting them at all costs. Justice for Albert Ojwang, protests in the streets, and then during the protests, you go ahead and shoot somebody else. I have never seen that much excellence in stupidity. And some people are just so stupid. It's excellent. Police who do this to protesters, who end up killing people. You can't live all these years just to excel in stupidity at your age. Did you see how dumb those two look? Like, it's crazy telling somebody stupidity from miles away. I honestly don't think Kenyan leaders are doing enough when it comes to accountability side their police. Wanataka kuniambia hii Kenya, au ma leaders wote wanakanga chini wakiwatch Kenya police wanadu, and they're just silent. No accountability whatsoever. It's always justice for somebody, justice for somebody. What do the leaders do? Silence. They're waiting to contribute once somebody is dead. Who will hold police accountable for every single thing they do during protests? Yani, kuna watu mi ushangaa. Au umwa kichwa hata kweli? Because hakuna kitu hapa ya kuuma. There has to be something. Panadol wouldn't even work on you because it's working on what? Head is empty. The police are not above the law. The police don't have the right to sentence anybody. Then what's the judiciary system for? Ama courts zifungwe. What we just witnessed is murder in broad daylight, and we need the faces of those two policemen everywhere. So it's justice for who next? During such times, utasikia Kenyan leaders always silent. Kazi tu kupita watu na gari za black. View, view, view. Speedy. What are you so scared of? Scared of the same people that put you in those seats. Gary speed ni 160. And sometimes this country.
At first, I thought these our police officers are being used to kill protesters. Now I'm fully convinced that these people are not being used by anybody. These people makes their own decision to shoot, to kill. Now, there's this protester who was literally selling masks up until a police officer shot him right on the head. Now, I'm now fully convinced that these people are not working under any orders. These people makes their own decision to kill protesters. I'm now convinced these people, there's no orders that they are using to kill anybody here in Kenya. These people are making their own bold decision in killing. Because you can't tell me this was in a broad daylight that a police officer was recorded shooting at a protester right in front of a camera, but right also in the head of a protester. Now, this person was not even protesting in the first place. This person was selling mask. Just imagine this, selling mask and being shot right in the head. Maze, it's so sad. It's really sad.
I was wondering why a police would kill a Kenyan while the same Kenyans are the one protesting for a murder that was committed by a police. These police, they cannot read the room. I was wondering that. They could not read the room that they have a case that is ongoing, investigations are ongoing, but they still go ahead and commit another murder. That's why I think that the person who did that is not a police. That's a hired goon. That's a hired goon meant to kill, built to kill. That wasn't a police. Because if it was a police, I think there would be some leniency, some leniency. That wasn't a police because it was just inhuman. Because you cannot just tell me that there are investigations of you killing a Kenyan, then you go to the streets and kill another Kenyan in front of the camera in cold blood. It doesn't make any sense.